a year later. Grimalkin Academy is festooned as for celebration. There are more students running around. Near the entrance to the school, we see a cluster of students, the ones that we know, as well as 3 more young, aberrant marked children clustered near Irving Finkel, who is giving a lecture on ancient wedding customs assisted by the bust of Jalère Alarenthi. In the back of the cluster are 2 of the new students, unique in that they don't bear aberrant marks. Kadric and Bajak watch the lesson with dubious interest. Looking around, we can see the grove looks very different. And for a brief moment, you might be tempted to think that trees had been cleared, but there's no evidence of the space where the trees aren't of the trees having been removed. It's more like the trees moved to create a large sort of wedge-shaped opening that leads towards the great silver tree at the apex of it. Laced back and forth across between in the angle are vines that seem to have just grown blue and purple lanterns hanging from them as the late afternoon light starts to dim. In and out of the front door of the school, we see Arabella Brightdoom bustling in and out, apron on, carrying baked goods, followed by Harish, carrying trays of food, and bustling behind them in some sort of argument over the particular way that the food should be laid out, is a goblin in a chef's hat, bearing a tray of kebabs, as Zot follows along behind Arabella. Everything looks laid out, tables for guests, garlands and streamers hanging from the balconies and the roof of Grimalkin Academy, fairy lanterns in the grove. And flowers everywhere, especially grown in the greenhouse behind the Grimalkin Academy. They're definitely not poisonous, but you probably shouldn't mess with them.
Nobody touch those flowers, please.
Colin, what are the flowers' colors? What are the wedding colors?
The flowers are a vibrant and iridescent purple, as they have a blossom surrounded by the petals, and the petals are a traditional fiery red, and the petals are nearing to translucent, so the idea of the flames coming out from around the purple heart of a flower are set all around.
Awesome. Our view pans up from the decorations to a window on the upper story, and we move through the window, and we see Pog getting ready. What's Pog doing to get ready? How's Pog dressing?
Pog has Minnie in the corner, and Carl is in the room, because as is Solarka's father, and
Hular.
It's Hular, yes, and it's because Pog has never buttoned a shirt all the way, and isn't familiar with all these extra things that he has to wear. There's just a lot over him.
Mm-hmm.
And Minnie just stands silently in the corner, expressionless as ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the point of comfort, as that's the closest he has to any blood family being in the room. And he says to Hular, it's kind of weird sometimes how the right thing can still make you nervous. And
Took you long enough.
Well, there were things that had to, you're right. And he reaches to Hular to take the belt from him to put on atop the rest of his wear. But
Carl brings out the last item, which is a big round box, which when opened reveals a top hat. Brings out.
What
Do you think this?
do I do with that?
Some people put it on their heads.
I can only make it through most doors already. I won't be able to walk through anything if I wear that.
All right, it was just a thought.
Is that?
Puts it back in the box.
Should I wear that? He turns to Hular.
I think you are already wearing significantly too many clothes.
So do I. It's the closest I've ever felt to you, because I agree. Pog turns to the window to look at who is around. Try to see. He knows where Shade is.
Arriving.
He knows
you can
where
see some
Shade
guests
is.
arriving. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can see some of the guests arriving. You can see that Carl's family are downstairs. They're sitting at some of the tables, his young children and his wife. Hular's sons are scattered around the place. And you can see the families of some of the students arriving as well. Cadrick's family is here. The Moon Spears are present, filing onto the island and starting to find seats as snacks and food of that sort are being served. Things look really nice around here. Pog's room is somewhat upgraded, and we think back a ways to before. Not long after the city's danger had concluded. And we find Pog back at the school. Things are still a little bit much more disorderly, much more disarrayed. And Irving is there. Well, it's been very nice to remain here with you all. He's explaining to the group. But well, now that the city is out of immediate danger, I don't mind continuing on as a visiting professor sort of position here, but I think it's time to rebuild the nest and to restart the collection. And I've been wondering about the things you brought back from the jungle.
I know of these things.
Yes, they would be an excellent beginning point for our antiquities collection. And the Foundation would be willing to pay handsomely for them.
This is not a private conversation between us. You said this is at the school, so is my strike force, or is there anyone in the room with me, or do I need to call? Because Pog's
probably just the strike force.
I like handsome money.
Better than ugly money.
Okay. Ari, can you help me with what money is? Handsome means like a good looking amount. I think.
True.
Ari would probably know what the handsome money is more. I've only made t-shirt money, really. So,
Oh, this is better than that money.
well,
I have-
they're good t-shirts. He trails off defensively.
Listen, I have successfully established through various necroarchaeological means that these are genuine artifacts. There's not any. I think this is the axe and crown of Emperor Kulsir.
Yeah.
How you came by them is a fascinating story in its own right, but just as artifacts as opposed to things that were in the hands of imminent doom recently, they're extremely valuable, and I could easily see my way to offering 2,000 platinum pieces.
And Ari takes a moment to hum and haw for.
Pug unironically has a blank look because platinum has never crossed his world before, and so he needs to know from Ari.
I suppose, given the fact that this is also helping to reinstate the Wayfinders, yeah, we can accept 2,000 platinum. We
Excellent.
appreciate it, Finkel.
Thank you. I'll send someone around to package them up. I assume you've been taking good care of them.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with them.
Excellent.
They're just in my room. Should I have done something with those?
You're good, buddy.
Okay. Do you want me to polish them? Sharpen them?
Oh, no. Nope. No.
Oh.
No. Nope.
There is a lot of blood on them.
That's all right. We'll take care of that or not, but just
okay.
Ideally don't do anything to them.
I just don't like giving blood away, but that's fine.
I don't know what to make of that, but very well. I'll send someone around to collect them. Till then, wonderful day to you all.
You too.
That was good.
That's probably more money than we could responsibly spend for the rest of our lives. So, yeah,
I was hoping it was going to be enough for me to help Miss Thora because she's spent a lot for us to, starting with not get killed or sold.
Yeah. I think that, 2,000 platinum split. Is it reasonable to say split 3 ways, or are we going to shave some off the top for Thora?
Well, my money will probably mostly get spent at school, and oh my goodness, I have to buy a house.
How about? Okay, let's do some quick maths. 1,800
Does split 3 ways evenly.
splits 3 ways into 600 platinum each. That leaves 200 platinum for Thora and the school, which is also an absurd amount of money. That seem good to everyone?
Okay.
Do they need more? I don't think I need an
I'm gonna
absurd
be here
amount
if
of
they
money.
Are you going to be here?
Oh,
'Cause
that's true.
I'm going to be here. If they need money, I'll have my money.
We could just give it to them then.
Right.
Okay.
And this is how you all became rich.
Obscenely rich, yeah.
Down on the grounds of the school on the wedding day, Finkel's class is breaking up. The older kids are dismissed to go get ready for the wedding. The younger kids are sent over to finish the day with Shade. Shade, how's your class different now? How's Shade different as a teacher a year later?
The class is still predominantly in the grove doing survival skills, but Shade's teaching is much more emphasis on not individual survivability, but emphasizing how they need each other to survive better and longer. And so there's a lot of, okay, well, nobody's leaving until we all help so and so climb up the tree. Or that's it's much more of a teamwork than class, rather than just throwing them outside and then seeing who comes back.
That's good. That's a good change. Shade, here you are in the grove. It's Pog's wedding day. What has Shade been doing with her time? What did Shade do in the aftermath of returning victorious to the school?
She checks on River.
So you can remember back on that day racing out to the grove.
Running out to the tree and casting speak with plants and just asking, are you there? Are you okay?
I think so. Did something happen?
Yes. Very much so. Then and now and in the future, and then again in the now.
Right.
And in the future, they called you the Queen of Thorns, and you were very helpful in the sending Thistle, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But also, they called you Queen of Thorns, and are you okay?
I think so. Everything is all right here.
Still,
I am still the keeper of the grove.
And protecting those that come to you?
Yes.
And you haven't had to mass murder anybody or things recently?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes things chase things into the grove.
Right.
But other than that,
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes you gotta kill the bad things, so that makes sense. But
are you all right?
yeah, I think I am. I worry about you, and I know that you're much more powerful than I am and than you were, but I still worry about you, and I just want to make sure that you're okay. And it sounds like you're great.
Thank you, Shade.
You are welcome.
It is nice to have friends, even in other worlds.
That's so true. It is nice to have friends. Okay.
As your class finishes, you are looking at the grove, which has reshaped itself for this occasion, with River's tree there at the apex of the open space that's been opened up. You can see Adrian, the priest from the Church of the Silver Flame, starting to set up near the silver tree. There's a little table at the end. He's setting some candles on it. But other than that, fairly simple. He's dressed pretty simply in a long gray robe with a sort of silver sash around his belt.
Pog leans his head out of his door, looking out towards the strike force table, which is if you'll indulge, where he had last spoken to Dane and asked, "Is he here yet? Is he here?"
Trying to think who hears you and comes running. Arlo comes out. Arlo comes out. He's dressed nicely, and he asks you, "Not yet. Which hair do you think?" And his hair shifts through several hairstyles.
Go back.
Yes.
One more. That's
Right.
it. That's the one.
Facial hair today?
I say every day, but that's me.
Well, it's your wedding. I'll go check.
Thank you. So I'm all sweaty.
He goes back into his room.
And Arlo goes downstairs. Shade, time is getting near. How does Shade go about getting ready?
She got ready like first thing in the morning, and she's just been hanging out in the grove. I'm sure there is some sort of wedding planner that is over things, but Shade is complimenting River on her design, that it looks lovely, and then just making sure that also people respect the trees, like stop picking the leaves. Yes, the flowers are beautiful, don't touch them.
You are followed around and echoed by one of the new students, who's a young half-elf girl, and she has. It's not that she's like a Shade fangirl as much as she's obviously a Cal fangirl. Like she has one of like a feather that Cal shed, that she's got like braided into her hair. But
Cal
every
got
instruction that you give is immediately echoed by the, I don't know. Someone tell me what this young girl's name is.
Casey.
Veto. I don't want to have to refer to her that way throughout the rest of this episode and confuse things.
Emmeline.
With great seriousness and gravity, at least such as can be mustered by like a 9-year-old, echoes each of your instructions, and glares fiercely at anyone who seems not to be following them. The priest, seeing you as you're sort of shooing people away from the trees, I think everything is about ready. The Stormlord's not here, I understand yet. No?
I don't see him yet.
All right. Well, there's a bustle as an airship comes and sidles up to the edge of the island, and lowers its gangplank, and 2 men stride off of it, both in long coats, both ruggedly handsome in their own very different ways, as Dane and Malcolm both walk down the gangplank onto the island, and head towards the food. Malcolm is intercepted by, surely the wedding planner, Colin. I don't want to speak out of turn, but surely the wedding planner is Arabella.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And there was no debate.
Malcolm is intercepted by Arabella, who runs up to him and then sort of catches herself, and they exchange very very polite greeting, kisses on the cheeks. And I don't know, Arabella to be happy too. I don't-
Yeah.
New ship.
Um,
Who this?
Malabella.
I don't like that.
All of a sudden, she is not happy any longer.
And you see them head over to proceed. Donabella runs up and says something to Malcolm. Malcolm nods, and Donabella, trailed by 3 other kids, go bolting back onto the ship and down the
Yep.
hatch.
Of course.
Yep.
That seems safe.
Yeah, well, of course.
I mean, I trust him.
Hular and Carl eventually leave Pog, and you are left to your own devices for a while.
Scratching the head of the ocelot.
Mm-hmm. And then you can hear a bustle a commotion outside, and then there's a knock at your door, and you hear Thora's voice. Pog,
Yes.
are you ready?
Is he here?
I think that's him. He makes an entrance.
Pog swings the door dramatically open and goes,
I think
You
so.
look good, Pog. You look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you, Miss Thora.
Proud of you.
Thank you for that even more.
She leans up, gives you a kiss on the cheek. Come on. Everybody's waiting.
Pog puts his arm out to take hers and his and then walk with her down.
The commotion outside is, of course, the arrival of Cross's Stormlord, Unudavari Smith. Smith, we're sticking with Smith. Just wanted to.
Yeah.
Ari, what's different? What looks different as Ari comes up the stairs and onto the scene?
Ari is much better dressed, not opulently, but dressed very well for his position. But also the early stages of early onset dad bod, sitting behind a desk, not being in the field. So face is a little bit rounder, a little less but yeah, he's cut his hair short, like professional side part, beard trimmed much shorter. Just looks like a very trying to look the part of a professional Stormlord. But he seems much more. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to just finish.
Just much more relaxed in his shoulders. Like he seems to be walking in his element, as opposed to constantly feeling like he's fighting against his nature, kind of thing.
So a very interesting question that I want you to decide, that probably should have come up in a previous conversation. What species does Ari look like now?
Ari still looks like a hexblood. He remained a fae.
Okay. Cool. So you come on to the scene and are greeted warmly by a whole lot of people. Probably with more like just plain sincerity than is Ari's day to day at this point. So some questions about Ari the Stormlord. Where's Ari set himself up? Where's Ari's office?
Yeah.
Does Ari have a business? Does Ari have just a house that he has an office? What's Ari's office?
Ari probably would have found one of the buildings near-ish the school, a couple blocks that was not in current use,
Mhm.
probably an old Stormhammer territory,
Mhm.
and purchased that and set up a business, much like his job before he got swept up in the school, of um, reacquiring lost items, like a very specific niche of bounty hunting for
Sure.
Chiron refugees and other people like that.
It occurs to me now how wonderfully and delightfully perfect it is. So many of the contacts that Ari has that are in some way or another antiquarians who
Mhm.
would be uniquely suited to help Ari sort the real from the fraudulent
Yes.
in that sort of line of work. That's wonderful. But here you are as a Stormlord, which raises a question as you come back to the school. Certainly, I'm sure not for the first time since a year, but it is impossible to see Thora come out with Pog and not think back to the conversation that followed a few days after the city's immediate danger. As things start to calm down, either you find Thora or Thora finds you, and you find yourself alone with Thora in the library, perhaps. Well, feels like it's been a bit tense lately.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
important
mostly my
question.
fault, but
Important question. Does Thora know the truth at
um,
this point?
yeah, Ari probably would have told Thora the truth. Like Ari,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, who knows? It's just there's been a lot going on.
True. Glad it worked out the way it did, though.
Well, there are things that I'd go back and fix, but I think that's not the lesson we're all to take from recent
Yeah.
adventures. But yes, came out probably as well as one could have hoped for most people, anyway.
For most, yeah.
Not the Aminatus, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't our best friends.
No. And looked like we had signed his death warrant when we took that amulet anyway, so only a matter of time.
Right. So, I feel like there's been a conversation brewing with you for a while now. I don't think you're happy, Ari.
There are a lot of things right now that make me very happy, but no. I don't know what it is, but just doesn't feel like the right fit, I guess.
Conflicting with your anarchist book club.
It's never been the same since Greg got eaten by that shark, but
Thor probably doesn't laugh at that, but well, regardless, you are welcome here.
I know.
I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but you are welcome here. You don't, just because you're not exactly, well, it'll be a bit of training before you're suited to take on the kinds of missions that Pog and Shade might still. And it sounds like Solarka. You're welcome here, regardless.
I appreciate that. I do. Genuinely. and you were there at a time when I and the others desperately needed you, both literally and figuratively. But I think I'm in a position now to strike out on my own in Stormreach. I don't want to leave the city, but I'd like to take a step back. Still want to help insofar as I can, but I'd like to see if I can come at things from another angle.
Well, that is an awkward transition into this, then. Things are calm again, and obviously frankly, feels almost as though the work I made you put in ahead of time was rather redundant, since we quite neatly saved the lives of, all the Stormlords who are still alive. To be grateful for it. And they all are. She reaches in and pulls out an opened envelope. It has the seal of the Stormlords on it. This is the official recognition of my status as a Stormlord. And I'm still going to turn it down. I know the person I would have to be to do that job. And I don't want to get into I'd basically be trying to outsell Shadra, sell Shadra. And it would let me justify. It would be, but it would let me justify a lot of things. I've brought it up twice in this conversation, more than I meant to. I'm not actually critical of what you decided to do about Amanatu. I'd make that choice a lot more times than you probably would. I came here to stop doing that. And I think that's what I should do. If you want to step back, that's fine. But if you want to step up, you have my full support. And they owe you every bit as much as they owe me, if not more. So I can't imagine a reasonable objection.
Well,
there are too many witnesses.
If they knew I was the only one of the strike force that didn't save a Stormlord, they might have something to say about it, but...
they don't need to know that. The precision with which the Aminatus were erased is fairly obviously Thorani. So...
yeah. No, I...
think about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. You have... I have worked extremely hard not to involve myself in whatever is going on between you and Shade, and extremely unsuccessfully. This is the extent to which I will involve myself in that, in this moment. You should have a conversation with her first.
Yeah.
But, here. Think it over.
Ari takes the letter and puts it in his pocket. I will. Thank you for everything. Genuinely. Even the times I was mad at you. Thank you.
Understood. She stands up and leaves you to it.
Nari kind of slaps his knees and stands up and heads up to Shade's room.
Does Shade have a room in the aftermath?
The balcony outside of Ari's room, I think, was the last note. So Ari heads to his room and then knocks on his window.
Opens the window.
Casey's look of dismissal at the idea of Shade having a room is how I want to remember this campaign.
Ari walks into their room, since even if there's a demarcation of the balcony, still
It's a suite. They've got a suite.
To see if Shade is there.
She peeks through the window.
Hey, can I need to talk to you for a second about something?
Okay. She'll
and
crawl
Ari-
through the window to be in the same space.
Ari sits on the edge of his bed and gestures for Shade to come sit next to him as he pulls the letter out. So this is the letter. So this is the letter that the Stormlords gave Thora to accept her as a Stormlord. And she's going to say no. But she told me if I want to say yes, she'd support that. That'd mean I I wouldn't be a member of the Strike Force anymore. This is what I'd have to do. But I could help us, help the school, and help everyone else that's not in the school. What do you think?
Well, before I answer that, what do you think?
A lot of the parts of it scare me. I know I'll have to do some things that I don't want to do morally. I also like to think I can maybe do some good, but I also know that putting a target on my back, both potentially physically and also politically, but also feel like we didn't happen in the school. We happened out there, side by side, watching each other's back, and you watching my back more often than I had the chance to watch yours. I was unconscious a lot, but I don't want to risk losing this for this. Ari holds the letter up.
Do you really want to know what I think? Or do you want to make your decision without my input? That's your choice, that's your life, that is fair.
I don't want to be concerned for my life. I'm concerned for our life. That's what I care.
I'm concerned for your life, and I'll kill anybody who targets you. So that's fine.
That. I don't want to make this decision on my own. I want to make this decision with you.
Shade has sort of been twiddling with her fingers, looking down during the conversation, and finally just looks up and stares Ari eye to eye. You would be great. You should absolutely aberrant marked in power your goodness, your kindness, your strength that you've built up to represent us that's what we've worked for, all of us, and what you've worked for. That would be amazing. And not just the school, but the community. If you want to know what I think it's exactly where you should be and what you should be doing. And I would choose you to represent us. So as an aberrant marked, think that's incredible. And as someone who loves you dearly, thinks that we couldn't have someone better.
Thanks. I'll do it then.
But you do have to be careful. People will try to still kill you.
I know. If you want to come hang out in my office with me and stab anyone that tries, you're always welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I love you so much. And who I am now, I wouldn't be able to be who I need to be without you. Thank you.
I believe that.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Ari, as you come onto the school grounds, you see Dane, you see Malcolm, you see Shade, with both Cal and her shadow. You see the kids, including the new ones. Cadric immediately, as soon as Cadric sees you, shouts, and he and Bajak come bolting over, and almost slide to a stop in front of you, and sort of stand slightly to attention. You notice that Cadric is dressed real nice.
Good. Good.
Any quests, boss?
Take the day today, fellas. It's a special day. We'll get back to work tomorrow.
All right. Is this place secure?
I think so. I think the City Watch has got it covered. But if you want to do another lap, and is Ilya here?
Not yet. I don't think so.
All right. Well, Cadric, once she gets here, be sure to pull her into patrol duty too, if her parents will let her.
I'll do that, boss.
Good.
And they head out on a security sweep.
I would like to take this opportunity.
Please.
Shade would lean down to Emmeline and say, "Watch this," and she'll give the shade eye to anybody around Ari, any of his administrative staff or anything like that. Seeing that Emmeline was practicing her look, and I would like to say that given the shade eye, they sort of disperse, and Shade gives a side glance to her shadow and goes over to Ari and takes him by the arm and leads him over to point out some of the prettiness of the grove.
Looks gorgeous. Yeah. Did good work.
River's amazing.
She is. How's Pog doing?
Flora sees you.
Nope.
And comes over to the two of you, and she smiles at Ari, nods, and says, as she does every single time, "My lord."
Headmistress.
He could probably use a pep talk
Yeah,
from both of you.
makes sense.
And Emmeline, you can come along with the students. She looks up at Shade. And then, "Yes, Miss Laura." And scurries away. Or herds her in the direction of the other kids. And looks back at the two of you. "But quick, the bride's almost here."
All right. And Ari walks with Shade.
Pog Arlo
look
is
nice.
giving
Oh, sorry.
some little last brushes as you're waiting in the lobby for them, and then he heads out as well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Ari just tells Shade that she looks nice. New dress?
What is Shade wearing? Is Shade what's dressed up for Shade here?
It is not a dress. You can't
Yeah.
climb trees in polite society in a dress. It is sort of a sleeveless pantsuit. So, because she's also has to have her arms out, but a sleeveless like tuxedo shirt with an actual vest over it and dress pants.
I would like to posit, Casey, if this is acceptable, that due to all of the functions that Ari would have had to have tended a Stormlord and would have asked Shade to come with him, that asking new dress has become an inside joke for the fact that Shade refuses to ever wear a dress to any of these high society functions.
Outstanding.
Yes. For which she responds, "Thanks for noticing."
As you guys make the approach, Pog hears and is going to turn and rush Ari to grab and pick him up for a very anxious kind of a hug.
Hey, buddy.
And as he hugs you, go,
Oh, I'm gonna have to tuck everything back in, but oh, so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
and sets you down, starts reapplying the tuck everywhere.
I was not gonna start until you got here. You sure waited. You sure
I'm
waited.
sorry. I tried. I wanted to take the day off, but last night had to get stuff done. So
Were they getting married? I'm just kidding. I'm nervous. I'm just kidding.
I know, buddy. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I know.
I cut the meeting short as I could. So, how you feeling?
So sweaty. Why do you guys wear so many clothes all the time?
It looks so uncomfortable.
It is. I'm so glad you get it.
Yeah, it's.
You look very formal, though.
And they said that was good. Miss Thora said it was good. And
It is good.
Carl and Hular said he thought so, but he doesn't, either. So
Given the nature of the hug that Pog gave Ari starts fixing the lapels and like smoothing out the fabric as Pog is talking.
it's just like very, very excited and scared, and I'm not big on scared. So it's like I'm itchy from the inside. I don't know.
Would you like some help with that?
What?
I can calm you down a little bit if you want.
Like with words, or because if
I
there
could
was
try with words.
because if
I
there
could
was
also-
magic, Solarka would be so mad if I did any magic things before.
All right.
We could fight. You could get some energy out.
I think that would mess up the outfit, though. Unfortunately,
That would make everybody
I don't think
but
Solarka
Solarka
wants
mad,
blood.
I think.
That's true. She'd be so mad if you lost. Oh.
Imagine losing. I do feel better, thank you. It's funny.
I did give Kolos an invitation, though. I think he wants a rematch.
Hey, that could be really fun. There is so much ale here. I will probably do that later.
This wedding is going to be unlike anything that this city has ever seen.
They thought it was in danger before. I'm really glad we all can be here, if it's even just for a minute.
Glad to be back. Good to see you again, buddy. No,
You too.
Yeah.
You look like you're getting really good sleep.
Better than before. Yeah. I probably could use a few days in the field here and there, but been busy. You look great though. Looks like you've
Thank
been
you.
staying strong, staying busy. School's
Yup.
doing well.
Well, the school is good. The school is good. We have a lot to do, and I'm actually doing a lot now, because we're not going and killing all the time. But really, it's
Not
just
all
been
the time.
it's just been fixing the house, getting that ready.
Yeah.
That's almost done. Done enough, I think. For now.
I'm glad.
Out of a side room, Esri appears. He has a long wrapped object, which he unwraps and hands Pog the Vorpal sword, and says, "I got it all cleaned. You said you needed it for the ceremony."
Yes, I do. Thank you. You look clean.
It's your wedding day.
It's really nice, Ezri. That's really nice. And he reaches up to give him a fist bump.
Also, everyone knows not to touch the flowers, right?
I
try
hollered
telling
out the
them.
window.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's just the really pretty ones tend to be extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colin's dating life just flashed in front of his eyes right there.
At that, not certain, given where we left it, who would be his caretaker at this point. But Ari asks, "Oh, how is Tommy doing?" The carnivorous fire plant that we told Esri to grow giant as we were leaving the school.
It's sort of plural now, but it's under control.
Okay.
There are no mosquitoes here.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate that.
Took a while to talk him back down from the inside, but it's okay.
Good.
He is very strong-willed.
Have you had any problems with her and her group?
No. They
Good.
seem to be minding their own business for now.
Good.
The door opens and Arlo pokes his head in.
Hey.
Yes, hello. Arlo has a very impressive beard.
It was the right choice. It
Ari
was
says-
the right choice.
Beard at a wedding?
Good. Yes.
The groom. You do what the groom says.
Beard everywhere.
She's here, so I think we're ready. So get the bridal parties all set, and I'll go let the priest know and get everyone seated.
Here we go.
Congratulations, Pog.
I'm
As
gonna
as
get
he's going
married.
out, Arabella is standing by the door. Right, and you want to go down together, right?
To Pog?
To Pog, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Well, she's waiting just outside with her father. You look great.
Y'all will be up there?
Of course, buddy.
Absolutely.
We'll see you
I
out
love
there.
you guys.
You all look great. Pog, you look wonderful. You're going to do great.
Thank you, Miss B. He reaches down to give her a one-armed hug and a kiss on the top of her head.
She reaches into the pocket that her skirt has, because why wouldn't you have pockets? And takes out what is very clearly the very carefully folded kerchief, and fixes it into the pocket of Pog's jacket, and pats you on the chest, and then goes back out the door.
Pog looks at his friends and then heads in the direction he was instructed.
So, moments later, down under the silver tree, there's Adrian, the priest of the Silver Flame. There's the Strike Force, minus Solarka, minus Pog. There's the old Strike Force. Strike Force Classic. And Ari and Shade and Solarka's brothers and Hular, all standing there. Give that a second.
Cal?
The real emotional
Right.
punch.
And Cal. And Cal, obviously. Yes, and Cal.
Cal the Barking Panther.
That's right. Hular's brothers and father, and Cal is next to Shade. And walking down between the rows of guests and down the aisle that the grove has become, come Pog and Solarka, walking hand in hand. Solarka is dressed very traditionally. There's this elaborate woven cloth that's sort of wrapped around her and up over one of her shoulders, in bright colors, coming down the aisle alongside Pog, and reaching the end. She looks over at you, Pog, and squeezes your hand, and then steps into place. Adrian steps forward. Priest Adrian steps forward and says, I am grateful to have been invited on this occasion. In our church and in my faith, we speak a lot of the strengthening of the flame as those who followed its path and served as a light in the darkness pass on from this world. But perhaps we don't spend enough time to speak of the way that the flame is strengthened when we join with one another in friendship, in community, and yes, in marriage. And it is that we come to celebrate today. And I recently registered as an honorary captain of the fleet in Stormreach. I'm here to officiate.
Thank you, Father.
Captain, please.
Thank you, Father.
He says, it's a pirate town. Of course, you have to be a captain to officiate weddings. You can't just be a priest. I believe there is a exchange traditional among Solarka's family that is to happen now. And Solarka looks at you and to probably Ari has the sword.
Pog turns and takes the Vorpal sword from Ari and
holds it in front of him and says, I give you this sword to have and to use to pass to our children in their time. And holds the sword forward.
She takes the sword and smiles and reaches back, and her oldest brother passes her a sword. Beautiful weapon. The blade is a rich, dark gunmetal gray with sort of curling wave patterns of fiery red threaded through it, and runes carved into it. And Pog, surely you've learned Giant in the last year. You can see the giant runes carved into the blade that says, "Beware, my foe, for this blade is wielded by the Crusher." And she says, "To keep us safe, you too must bear a blade. With this sword, keep safe our home." And she hands you the sword.
Pug takes it.
Adrian smiles, though looking slightly bewildered and out of place in that exchange. And says, "I am told that the bride and groom have their own vows, and the bride will begin." Solarka, still holding the sword, steps forward and says, "Pog, based on what I knew of you when we met, you now have everything you wanted. Everyone knows of your exploits, knows that you are a hero, whether they like it or not. Nearly everyone smiles when they see you. You are a wielder of famous weapons. Your face is on the t-shirt. None of that is why I love you. You are brave, but that is not why I love you. You are strong, but that is not why I love you. You are handsome, but that is not why I love you. Bog, I love you because you are sincere. You are honest and true to me. I love you because life has treated you so unfairly, and yet you hope. Pog, I have always dreamed of adventure, and in this last year I have had my share of it with you. But adventure is not the thing, as I thought it would be, that has given me what I want. Here, now, in front of all of these people, I have everything I want. Adrian looks at Pog.
Pog, holding the sword, turns to Ari to take the paper of the vows that they're written on. He steps up, looks real quick sheepishly at Solarka and then down at the paper. Dear Solarka, it was just Solarka. I've said a whole bunch of times how I don't use words good and don't talk right about how feelings are. But I've gotten better at thinking my feelings, and I can think in a lot of words. Some of them I only know from Ari using them. But there have been a few people in my life who have helped me find better words and have given me better feelings.
You are the best of the people at both of those things. I get loved in different way from people, and I love them, but I feel like you love me the biggest, and I don't know what to do with how big all my love is for you. I think people try to make other people happy if they are good, and I have seen you happy in ways most folks don't get to. I know that you have happy and love in the world no matter what happens, so I get scared about getting to try to give you the happy love I have. But Solarka, you helped me know good, and be good, and feel like I can be good. You've let me do a whole bunch of crazy things, but the craziest thing is letting me try to be good to you. And I promise I will do that every single day, in every way, as long as I have the now times to do it. And I think our now times will be a very happy future. And he looks up. I love you.
I love you too, Puck. Ari and Solarka's brother step forward to take the swords, and Adrian draws the two of you close. Solarka holds out her hands for yours, and Adrian lays a silver cord gently and wraps it around your hands, and lays his hands on yours and says, "Whatever power I have to bless you, I bless you. This is the beginning of a wonderful journey for the both of you. Beginning of a great adventure for you and your families and your friends. And I, by the power vested in me as a buccaneer of Stormreach, bless this union and pronounce you man and wife. And as if you
Pog
needed
reaches
my
across
permission."
to kiss her.
And he backs out of the way of the two very large people, to applause and cheers of all. As you turn to look at the smiling faces of everyone, there is a sudden cracking sound, and you see Esri turn and look back and say, "Okay, so when I said it was under control," and you see the enormous form of Tommy loom up, and Dane gets up, flexes his knuckles so that they crack. Power runs along them. Solarka's father and brothers all produce weapons from somewhere. Kadric, standing very close to Ilya, suddenly puts a hand down and has a sword. And Dane looks back at you and says, "You throw a great party, Pog."
Best wedding ever.
And that is where we will leave this story. Thank you all so much for this. This has been an enormous pleasure over the last few years. We are in the process of plans. We'll let you know as soon, probably. It's like 6 weeks or more until this episode comes out from where we are right now. So maybe you already know. I don't know. But if not,
So tell us.
patience.
What did we decide?
But sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for playing this with me, for saying yes when I pitched this a few years ago. This has been amazing fun. Thank you for letting me watch the characters grow like this. This was such a fun way to wrap it up. Thank you all, to our audience, for all of your support, for watching these episodes, for the various ways in which, in the words of encouragement that you have given to all of us. We have been never a gigantic hit on YouTube, but it has not in the least bit mattered because of the amount of love and support we have gotten from our viewers. So thank you all so much for that. We are still astonished at the number of you that do want to watch us play make believe and have a big old fun time. So thank you all so much.
Thanks for the game, Philip. Thanks for this
Very
adventure.
much my pleasure. Yes.
awesome.
We'll have a big KSA
It's been fun.
with the whole cast. So there will be more of that coming soon. I don't know exactly the date this arrives, but probably on a Friday. So be sure to head over to Discord. You can ask the questions there. You can find links there below, along with links to the Geek Pantheon YouTube, to Colin's Twitch, where he is sorry BTR, the O is a 0. To our merch store, to the I Never Got Into That podcast, which I never remembered to pitch until just now. God, we got better late than never. Where you hear me and Colin
If you made it to
Talking.
this point,
talking about fandoms. It's a lot of fun. But again,
Casey,
thank
what's
you
your
all so
podcast?
much for watching. It's this, right?
with all your free time, Casey.
Right.
It's called Khyber Shards.
Unfamiliar. Pitch it to me.
Yeah. So I at this point don't know what's next, but until whatever's next, thank you all so much for rolling with us.